Now, can you guess who we're talking about? His pop royalty. He's released 35 calendars, but for next year, it's the last one he will ever do. Apparently, it is, of course, the great, the legend, Sir Cliff Richard. Can't beat him, can you? Let's talk to Paul Clements, assistant features editor at The Telegraph, and we have to say, a huge Cliff Richard enthusiast. Paul, good morning.
Good morning.
Is this the end of an era? I mean, is this the last January we will ever see of Cliff Richard on the calendar?
I have my doubts. I think there's a reason why Cliff has decided to announce that this will be the last one. I think he says it's partly because he's getting bored of having to strike all of the poses that is required of a calendar. And he has been doing these now for, I think, 35 years.
Yeah, talking of poses.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a classic.
Stephen, you do that pose every morning.
I do, but I'm not 73.
He's still agile enough to crack a pose like that. However, I've got a feeling that it's more about, well, it's two things. It's the fact that he's feeling the heat from the youngsters now. One Direction really are sort of outselling his calendars for the first time in a long, long time.
Yeah, look, we talk about all that he's done. If we look back to 1982, here we go. I mean, these are the sort of... I know, these are the... And this one is my favourite. This is from the age of Always Guaranteed when that album was out.
This is the first calendar that I was given as a Christmas present, the Always Guaranteed one. And I have these gathering dust at home in drawers. And it's not easy being a Cliff fan, especially not as a teenage boy in the 80s. But this was the start of it for me. And for me, Cliff's calendars are it's a tradition now in Britain. They're like mistletoe and wine, they're like mince pies. You have to have one. And to not have one, thank you very much. It wouldn't be the same without one.
Cliff Richard is he is an icon, but perhaps generally for people of a certain age now. I mean, the audience is getting older. But why is it that he's someone who we seem quite happy to ridicule?
Oh, Cliff's never been cool. He's been unlucky in that respect. When he first started in the 50s, it was just after Elvis, who was the king of cool. Over here, when he was the British Elvis, he had a few good years, but then Beatlemania knocked him out of the way, and he's always been sort of on the sidelines ever since. But I think he relishes that outsider role, and it suits him very well. He dresses a little bit naffily. His songs are a little bit cheesy, but we love him for it.
Is this a PR ploy? So that people like you and people like me say, look, Cliff, keep going, don't pack it in.
That's very cynical of you, but I suspect there is an element of truth in that. I don't think we have seen the last of Cliff just yet. There are plenty more poses he can strike for next year's 2015 calendar.
And he has got something in the charts for Christmas, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got his 100th album is out now. I mean, he has been going on forever. I can't see him stopping doing this.
I just thought it's quite inspirational, isn't it? I mean, whether you think he's cheesy or not, the fact that you've got a 73-year-old, and with... I don't know if you put the plasma back in for me. I mean, this was from last year. There you go. I mean, that's one heck of a body for a 72-year-old as he was then.
He's amazing. He has admitted in the past to having had a bit of work done. He used to take Botox. He talks about that, but he gave up because it gave him lines under the eyes. But his body is amazing. I think living in Barbados, playing all that tennis, really does help.
Helps him along. Paul, good to talk to you. I'm glad that you've got an excellent taste in music and calendars.